Hi there, in this how-to video we're going to take a look at the next requirement for your school website, and that is the reporting of your PE and sport premium funding. Now this is applicable for most primary schools, so if you are a primary school that receives this funding, then you must report online how the funding was used. You can find the full list of requirements in section 10 of the school website requirements guide. If you don't already have a downloaded version of that, then you can head over to our website and grab a copy for yourselves. I will link it in the description of this video too, so you can find it more easily. Now, if you scroll down to section 10, you'll see the full list of requirements that you're required to publish to make sure your website is compliant. Now, it's not a very big section, so hopefully you'll find it quite easy to update this section of your site. Now, the first 2 points are usually covered off quite well, so it's a breakdown of how the funding's spent and how much funding you received. There's not usually an issue with that when we're auditing websites, but the next 3 can sometimes be either a bit patchy or missing completely. So that's the effect that the funding has had on participation and attainment, and how you'll make sure the improvements are sustainable. So just make sure when you're preparing your content for online that you make sure that these sections are ticked off, and make sure that you include all the appropriate information and as much information as you can just to support those 2 points. Also, the information about swimming. So you are required to report how far your Year 6 cohort can swim, and the full sentence can be found in the guide. Now, not every school does swimming in Year 6, some of them do it in Year 3, 4, 5, but you're required to report on your Year 6 cohort. So if you do swimming in Year 3, it's important that the person who is responsible for reporting that information keeps hold of it until the Year 6 class, which is when you are required to report it. So it might not fit that well with how you do your swimming at school, but it's really important that we report that in the correct way. So just keep an eye on that one. We often see on school websites that they'll report about their Year 3 swimming class, but that doesn't meet the requirement. It has to be your Year 6 cohort. Now, I'm going to take a look at some best practice examples of sport premium pages, and then I'll make some suggestions to how you can improve your sport premium page even further. The first one that we're going to take a look at is this one here from Corpus Christi. Now, they've got a lovely photo here of children using sporting equipment. Now, that's really good because it brings the page to life a little bit. So if you're going to talk throughout your pupil sport premium funding, about the equipment that you've bought and the different events that you've perhaps been able to put on now you've got the funding, then it's really a great idea to add a photo on there just to bring it to life and make it sort of seem a bit more interesting. Your sport premium page is a really great place where you can show off all the different things that you've been able to do. So if you can add a photo or multiple photos, a photo gallery, then that would be great. This next page here is from Well Home Academy, and you can see here that they've really added a lot of content to this page just to make it really easy for people to interpret the information. So if people don't know anything about sport premium funding and they find themselves on the sport page, then they can really quickly get up to date with what the funding is and how it has been used at school. You can also see here that they've added the information into the document groups, so it expands nicely and can be read within the page. Now, they've split their content up, so this is how they've spent the money, or how they plan to spend the money. And in this second document here, this is all about the attainment and the participation of the pupils. So they've split that content up, which works really well because, like I say, often those points are missing. So to put them in a separate document is really helpful for the readers, just to be able to pick up what information they are interested in and read both if they want to. This site here, this is again another great one from Walmsley School, and they've just put all the information that they can straight onto the page. So you can go to this page as a user, as a parent or a carer, and you can see all the key information is just there planted on the page, and it really jumps out at you. It tells you about the impact and how the funding was spent. And again, they've got the document groups here, and this is where the statement can be found. There we go. And you can see that that's placed into a nice, bright, colourful document. Again, this is another document that we see quite a lot, which is a template that can be used. Now, often with the templates, all of the information that you are required to publish is sort of sketched out for you, so it's just a case of filling it in. So if you struggle to report your sport premium information online, then it might be a good idea to get hold of one of these templates and start by filling that in. And the final example is just this one here from Fairfield. And now you can see there's a lovely photo here of loads of children participating in a sports event. And as participation is one of the things that you have to report, this is just a really nice way to back up the content that is on the page. And it just brings it to life a little bit. So if you can have big group shots of children participating in sports, and if you're able to run any new after school clubs with your sport premium funding, again, any photos that you can add on there would be really great. Another idea, which I couldn't find an example of, but I think would work really well for Sport Premium, is to upload a video onto the page. Now, if you're not using video yet at school, that's fine, and this might be a nice place to start. But if you could perhaps interview some children and ask them questions about how they find sport at school, that might be a really nice way to just make that page more engaging and to bring it to life again with the videos of the children and saying how great the sport is at your school. The other great thing that you could do is tagging your news articles onto the page. So if you ever write a news article, about sports and how that what your sport life is like at school, tag them onto your Sport Premium page, and they'll appear at the bottom of the page as related content, and that'll really support what you're saying throughout your sports documentation. So if you're saying about different events that you've run and clubs that you've run, if you ever write a news article about them, you can tag them onto the page just to bring the content to life a little bit and make it more interesting. So I hope that helps. Like I say, all of the information can be found in section 10 of the school website requirements guide. So go ahead and grab a copy of that if you don't have one already, and just double check, make sure that the information on your Sport Premium page is compliant. If you have any questions about your Sport Premium page, then feel free to get in touch with us at support@scudo.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.